They come to me at the end when they've already gone through the process, where they've either had their accountant or themselves deal with the IRS agent, provide them docs in whatever format they have, and then the IRS agent disallowed their expenses or found reported income, and the taxpayer claims that they were wrong. I've done a number of cases like that. They come to me and they're getting now a 90-day notice. That's a pretty serious item, which means if you don't respond to that, at that point, the only way to respond is to file a tax court petition, which I do. You file the tax court petition. It's actually not that difficult to file a tax court petition, but I only file them when I know there's an end game, where I looked at the taxpayer's proof and case and believe there's resolution. For example, a couple of tax court cases that I filed recently were clients who worked for a company and they were an employee, but for whatever reason, they was like signing some docs, and the client was like an Amazon seller corporation, foreign corporation, and the 1089s got mistakenly issued to the taxpayer, millions of dollars. I filed a tax court petition, provided the appeals agent that was assigned copies that this was in the corporate name, the corporation accounted for the money, they reported for it, it was reported to the individual in error, and we won, zero tax, as opposed to a couple $100,000. Another one was a client that did a lot of what I call fantasy football betting, and he would actually have gambling income and gambling losses. And when I say a lot, there was hundreds of thousands of different activity. I don't know anything about that because I don't partake in it. At the end of the day, he said he was either zero or a loss. IRS saw just the income. They didn't, at that point, internal audit. They didn't accept any of his proof. I filed a tax court case. The appeals agent gave him the proof again in an organized format, resulted in zero tax due.
At that point, did you think that he's actually a professional gambler, so he's in the business of?
Yes. Again, he could have been, and that's a whole different issue in terms of tax compliance, but I won on that audit. The trick is the audits, you deal the best you can internally. Best if the taxpayer does not respond to the agent, but hires a professional like you or me or someone else. Because the ones that I mentioned, the taxpayer was giving the information himself. And whatever format they gave, either was not professional or the IRS didn't understand it.